following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to take back control of our personal choices, health, and freedom. I'm Nico Haan.
And I'm Paige Clarke, and happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful day here in downtown Clearwater, 74 degrees, nice dry air because of that storm off the
It's
coast.
been gorgeous all week,
Yeah,
actually.
sure
I feel
has.
like we're in California. I mean, of course, Florida weather's gorgeous, but
beautiful.
the low humidity makes me think a little bit more of something that the people on the West Coast experience.
Yeah, exactly. Folks, please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter and also pick up some Primal Edge to boost your metabolism. And you can do this at the TFNN website at tfnn.com. Use those Tiger dollars, too. And we're taking your phone calls, too, at 877-927-6648. Welcome back, Paige.
Oh, I have had a great week. As many of you all may know, I was gone last weekend and trained with my biofield technology group at a level 3 training with Dr. Marshall himself. Many of you may know that I'm a QRA practitioner. QRA is kind of 21st century healing technology. Interesting thing is people go, oh, that's muscle testing. Well, it's actually kind of not. It's not kinesiological muscle testing. So. Yeah, and I'm gonna really try and educate people a little bit more because it will be used in the future in other countries. It's actually a patented medical device. How about that? So it's actually it's an electrical test, actually.
Right. Would have to be. We're electric human beings.
We are a body electric, as you know.
But it's not the type of device like the Scientology device that they...
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is just energetic. This is an energetic test that helps to determine how well your body's biofield is communicating, or coherence in the biofield. Because science has now proven that our bodies communicate via light. Fritz Albert Popp proved that we are biophotonic beings, and that just as any organ or gland has a specific cell resonance of which it does its communications to operate. So liver cells resonate at a certain frequency, kidney cells resonate, and our goal is to understand that it is the biofield, or the electromagnetic field around our physical bodies, that is part of how our whole bodies operate and stay healthy.
So this device, does this...
Now, this is not a device. This is us. We are the device.
Yeah, but you mentioned something that...
Okay, so the technology.
Yeah, the technology.
Dr. Marshall patented the technology, and Dr. Forbes, his partner and wife.
Okay, my question is this technology to find out how you're resonating?
To help restore coherence in the biofield and make sure we support organs, glands, and meridian systems, the communication highway, with cell-resonant nutrition, substances, or energy.
So how do you track the biofield? How do they keep track of how you're resonating?
So we do a QRA exam where we use a special connection with the fingers. We make a connection, close the circuit on you, and apply stress, and we can determine the strength in the biofield. This is also, there was a patent on this test by a Japanese researcher, Dr. Omura, and you can actually see how in Japan they use QRA technology, but it's called bidigital O-ring test, BDORT. The way we use MRIs to locate tumors and different things to actually see what's going on in the body.
So there's a way of us knowing which residents applies
Resonance.
to which organ or which part of the body is...
Well, it's a way for us...
Because I'm a dummy here.
No. And, that's the thing. We've been so busy. I need to really demonstrate this more.
Yeah.
We've got to hang out more than just at the station.
Yeah, because I'm really interested in this because it makes sense that we're electric, first of all, because the whole universe is electric. That's the way I'm thinking.
We're electric and we're light. And light and sound are really all the same thing.
Yeah.
Just different expressions.
Yeah, and of course, our ancient cultures all use light and sound and fire and smell and everything for getting kind of the resonance of our bodies right. We're trying to, when they're going around shaking and doing things with sound and movement, they're trying to heal somebody. So the
You're
medicine
exactly right on target. So when you think of an ancient Indian Hindu culture, and someone studies with a guru and they're doing mantras and they're making sacred sounds, they were looking for the sounds that were the right resonance to create the healing effect in that body.
And the reason I bring this up, because our culture really looks at the medicine man as somebody who's a dumb guy, and he's there, they're primitive, they don't know what they're doing, and ha, 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 ha. When in reality, these people, think of it, folks, if they weren't successful in what was going on, they wouldn't be there very long.
Well, we like to say in our group, as Dr. Marshall teaches us, that we are remembering what we probably already knew thousands of years ago.
Or have forgotten, in a sense.
That's what I'm saying, that we have forgotten, technologies that we have forgotten. So QRA has been called 21st century healthcare, and I am a QRA practitioner, and I have colleagues all over the country that have trained with Dr. Marshall. Dr. Marshall has a syndicated radio show that people listen to all over the country, and he refers out to his QRA practitioners, of which I am one. So, I actually consult with people remotely, so all of you tigers know. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm hoping we're working on getting a show resource to remind people they can check it in case we mention something and they want to, go and review it. But if any of you call and you haven't had a consult with me, if you book, I already offer all of you a 15-minute phone chat and no charge for the first time. So if you haven't called me,
well, you got to get a hold of you first of all by Paige at TFNN.com.
Paige at TFNN.com.
Then you'll arrange the rest.
Let me know that you're a Tiger Living a Primal Lifestyle listener, and you have a complimentary consult. If you go from there and you decide we're going to dive into things a little bit deeper, I'm running a little special right now that if you do a 30-minute consult, it's $50, but I'm going to send you a $50 gift card. How's that? So it's really almost another visit free. So if you are interested, email me and put a little subject line, Friday's show offer, and then we'll connect and set something up. But I had a great time this weekend. Great news, and I want to, just because we say something is true today, it may not be true tomorrow. It's on a headline, will the facts that science verifies today become false tomorrow? Well, in some cases, yes. And I've been hinting a little bit, and what I love about our show is we come here, we look at alternative health and healing. Don't like to use that word alternative media, because since when did natural in terms of health
the other
become
is
the
actually the alternative.
You're exactly right. We've been spun. But, I've mentioned that in our research group, because we are primarily a research group, we're finding that even some of the stuff that you and I have been feeling was the holy grail in terms of health may or may not, in the long term, be the best choice for everybody, particularly when we're over 40.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to be, we're waiting on the biofield diet and the longitarian diet and Dr. Marshall's book to come out. We've been testing this for a few years, and we're finding out that there needs to be some tweaking in terms of perhaps all refined oils, even the so-called healthy oils that we've all loved and adored and embraced, such as coconut oil and olive oil, are being abused and are putting tremendous stress on the 40-plus-year-old's liver gallbladder, because we can get all these other biofield points turned on, but somehow doing the right thing.
And the way I'm thinking of it, too, because your body can get rid of a lot of things. But if your body doesn't have the ability to, in other words, digest fats in the first place.
Emulsify.
Yeah.
Digest and emulsify, correct.
Because, your body's been trained to eat lots and lots of carbohydrates, and you're trying to eliminate fat from your body, so your body starts to say, okay, I guess I don't need to do this.
Well, what I'm also saying is
but
that...
But also, now aren't we working on 2 and 3 generations of that?
Correct.
And so, the baby's being born, and right away, he's going in the wrong directions because now he's not being able to digest. So, I'm thinking, you really have to get your body used to these things.
Well, Nico, we've got a history of mothers that are having microbiome upset.
Right.
And that is the inoculation of the child, going through the vaginal canal, continuing breastfeeding to term. Right. These are all crucial things that just a snowball has happened.
Eliminated from our society.
Current today has been eliminated. We've seen the
and frowned upon in many senses.
Right.
Breastfeeding is frowned upon.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like cutting up the body and doing the, cutting the penis of the little boy, the circumcision, and all those things are what I consider barbaric things. And if you really do the research on it, you find out what the heck are we doing here? But I think your point is that there's many roads as far as health is concerned. Because last week I was talking to the people about that. If you want to live to 100, there's many different paths to take. And there are people doing this on different parts of the earth, and they're all doing it differently
and
with different food.
That's what we're hearing. In this country, folks, people are being told, oh, we're living long. Guys, we're not living long. We're living long, but we wish we were dead. I mean, people are ending up in nursing homes. They're on 50 different pills. They don't live well. But guys, there are people, and Dr. Marshall has been spending the last few years studying what he and Dr. Forbes have affectionately called the longitarians, the people who are living with longevity and they're living a long time. And they're running around on the beach and they're pinching each other and they're able to have sex and, and deliver children or father children. Well, maybe. Did you
hear about that couple that was in, I forget exactly, I think it was in St. Pete or something. They got arrested. They were making love on the beach, and they're supposedly up for like 15 years if they get convicted.
Oh, God. Oh, geez. I don't know. That's crazy. But you're you're distracting me with that.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But long story short is that, we don't feature a lot of information about these longitarians, these long-lived cultures, and what they're doing. And there's a lot of things in the paleo primal. When I joined this show, I was not pure paleo. Mm-hmm. I considered myself a Weston Pricer traditional diet, and I'm still kind of more in that place. I don't like being pigeonholed with any diet because I realize that I want to be able to go with the flow. And as new information is surfacing, as new research is coming out, I want to be able to say, hey, take a look at this.
I remember what I started with about 8 years ago when I started on the paleo diet and kind of turned it into what I call the primal diet. And what I do now is completely different. And the volume of food is different. And how I prepare it is different. How I think about food is completely different, too. It changes my mind about a lot of things. That snacking was a thing you always did, and now I don't at all. Very seldom. Unless I'm sitting in front of the TV or something like that, and I'll grab a nut here or something, But I don't like to snack because I know it's not that great for me. And I don't have really that appetite anymore, too, so it's pretty cool.
Yep, so I guess we've got to take a break, guys. Give us a call.
Yeah,
We're here to take your questions.
877-927-6648. Pick up some Primal Edge. Take a look at our newsletters, and please subscribe. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, welcome back. And we were just talking about will the facts that science verifies today become false tomorrow? And I saw an article, antioxidant supplements not so good.
I read that, yes.
Came from a great site that I really love, greenpastures.org. Great place to order some real food supplements. And, I think we got a picture up on the telestrator. I don't know if Al can zoom in on it.
Oh, the little,
but it's kind of got, a little evolutionary picture. Wow, guys, that kind of pictures often say 1,000 words. I like the one that's a variation of that has the guy that says, "Stop! Turn back, we screwed up."
Yeah, right. That's right.
And I think it's quite obvious that obviously something just ain't right, folks. This just ain't right. Yeah. Look at that guy sipping
So the article is talking about antioxidants and people, of course, using mega doses of vitamin C and other vitamins.
And isolated and pharmaco-produced. Let's talk a little bit about how the science works. Many years ago, people were frightened away from vitamin E. Said that it was dangerous.
It's in your
beta carotene that it caused lung problems. Again, what were they using in these studies? They were using isolated, synthetic, petrochemical formulated mono fractions of these vitamins. So anytime you are not using you're looking at supplementation as a isolated form, you can run into trouble, folks. You can create an imbalance.
Especially with mega doses.
The lines,
right?
Exactly. Well, you can create an imbalance in one. And so, one of the reasons that I work so closely with and have selected certain lines that I work with, Premier Research as an example, is all the synergist and cofactors in any formula are there to make it cell resonant, meaning usable by the cell in a form that was once live sourced. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, because we really want to get all our nutrients from the food if we possibly can.
Because, as we just talked about, if we are a body of light, which we are, this is not woo-woo, this is fact. If we are a body of light and our body communicates via light, as proven by FitzPop, then we need substances that are light. So I like to explain to people, even though some of the foods that I offer to help create biofield resonance with my clients come in capsules, and some of them are powders and some of them are liquids, they are actually foods in a convenient form. Because as you know, we can no longer find these nutrients. And we formulated Primal Edge with a manufacturer that was willing to work with us to get something that just really passed purity tests and was offered a lot of bang for the buck.
Well,
and we're getting great results. Thanks for your feedback, guys. We enjoy hearing back from you, by the way, that are telling us that the improvement in energy is just astounding. Our label, the label wraps around most of the product because we have whole food synergists. We have structured water in the base of the format, which was very important to me. We have nature's miracle molecule, as it is so called, the fulvic and humic, that helps to be kind of, as I say, an alchemic genius and help the good minerals stay and the bad minerals to go away. That is really the active compounds I use in my mud packing that I do. When people come in and I work on scar trauma remediation, removing the interference fields. Fulvic and humic are those key ingredients that we've got in those mud packs. So,
it just amazes to me that when you are on a really good diet of whole food, of seasonal food, organic food, and you do add a nice supplement like the Primal Edge to it, how real good you feel, how you don't get very hungry, that you're very satisfied with what you're doing as far as eating. Life becomes a lot simpler. Then the only thing you really have to work on are all the stresses from modern living, like your own activity of social and business life and things like that. Clean up your sleeping areas and things like that. But you have to start with the food. That's where everything begins. You add on something like the Primal Edge, or if you're working with somebody else you're comfortable with and you're having good results, that's the name of the game. So start with the food. Start looking at what you're consuming. It just makes so much sense that what we put in our bodies determines how we feel, not only physically, but also emotionally, and I think spiritually.
Right, and just to kind of summarize on this one article, folks, what we're saying is the best sources of our antioxidants are whole food source with the whole food synergist. Unfortunately, much of our food is not properly grown to offer what we need. We can use, as long as we're using whole food synergists, we can really help that. And it goes on to talk about how isolated nutrients like ascorbic acid, vitamin C, it's not really going to get the thing. We want whole food vitamin C. We have that. Yep. So, gosh, that was a quick segment.
877-927-664 if you 848 if you'd like to join the conversation, and Paige and I will be right back. Pick up the newsletter.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. This is Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Please take time to order some Primal Edge supplement, daily supplement that you can take to help you feel better. And take a look at our newsletters. I sent one out in the web last week, and it's really loaded with stuff, so we might have a chance to go over a couple of things. But I ran across this interesting, it was an email this morning that Amy Myers.
I love Amy Myers. She's an MD. She really has a similar...
a doctor's evening routine for restorative sleep. So she has this routine, and I think everybody has a kind of routine, and if you want to share the routine with us, that would be kind of nice, because I want to share mine, but let's go over hers first.
Yeah, we'll use hers as kind of a framework, and we put it out there in the chat room, so if any of you guys have some ideas of what you do to help get yourself in the zone, Because sleep is so important, folks. This is when we do our rejuvenation. This is when the body moves into the role. You know, chronobiology is very important. It's when we kind of start working on, you know, taking out the trash and assimilating nutrients and getting rid of the bad ones and absorbing
your body's
the good
in a
ones.
repair mode, and it's in a rest mode too, because you've been active all day, so it needs to rest. It needs to get its energies together, and meanwhile, it's cleaning the whole system and trying to repair things that maybe we screwed up from some physical repair, mental repair.
Yeah, and it's usually between 10 and 2 that we actually, release human growth hormone, which is very important for those of us over 40. It's important for everybody.
Yeah.
Luckily, when you're younger, you're able to produce that pretty easily, but as you get older, if you're not getting in the bed and starting to get in that zone, you're going to miss secreting that. So I mentioned it, I think, a couple weeks ago. Anything that you're doing, I have to remind myself of this a lot. Anything you're doing after midnight, whether it be reading or something around the house, why don't you just go on to bed and get up at 4 or 5 and do it.
That makes sense.
Sure. Right. I mean, if it's really something that you've got to get done because of a short time frame. I really treasure
those morning hours, because most of the time I'm alone, which is really special for me, and it gives me an hour or so. In fact, I wake up an hour and a half before I have to be at work, and I'm like literally around the block from where I work.
And Primal Man woke with the sun, so at the very least, really logically, we should be. That's a clue.
Yeah.
That's a clue. Yeah. Rise and shine, right?
That's the clue we've been taking all along, right? So let's look at her.
Yeah, what would Amy Myers do?
She says, after work, I clear my head by taking a 2-mile walk with Mocha, I guess that's one of her animals, or I hit the gym for kettlebells, jump rope, or weights.
Mm-hmm. And then she has a few squares of organic dark chocolate. How about that?
That's good. I'm assuming that she's eaten already. It really doesn't say, but I'm thinking that she's eaten already. As soon as the sun goes down, she starts to wind down.
Yeah, well, she says she sits down to a Myers Way approved meal. So she has a meal, and then she allows herself to have the dark chocolate. The article that we previously went over about the antioxidants, I didn't get a chance to cover it, but the example was tremendous amount of full spectrum flavonoids in chocolate. Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean eat a whole chocolate bar, folks. It means eat a little square.
Eat a couple of squares. That's what I do. Yeah.
And I like this. She's smart enough to have replaced many of the light bulbs in her lamps. She sets the stage just as what's happening outside. As the sun is going down, she's moving towards a dimmer lighting in her house.
Yeah.
How many folks do you know that turn on every light in the house? That's not normal.
Yeah, I have those salt lights, which is kind of an amber.
Those too. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so we have that in every room, and so in the evening after dinner, those are the lights that are on. Mm-hmm. Our bedroom is really, really dark, and well, let's go on with hers, and then we'll describe ours. Okay, so she winds down, she blackens out the curtains, and she starts to take a bath. She does things like shuts off computers and telephones, so she doesn't have any interruptions.
And she has protected her computer. We mentioned there's an app on your computers called Flux.
F-Flux.
F-Flux. F.Lux. So Flux, but F.Lux. That creates an amber screen and interrupts the disturbing blue light that really interferes with what's actually going on. So what's actually going on?
iPad version. They're working on an iPhone version and the other phones and all those things. So that's not here yet. But usually what I do is I just toss them aside, and that's it. After 9 o'clock anyway, I shut my phone down.
So I think it's important, instead of going back. Why is it important to do this lighting change? Many of you may have heard our show, but for those of you who haven't, it's that important. The blue lights particularly interfere with our melatonin production.
Yeah, they stimulate serotonin, and it doesn't convert to melatonin because that's what happens when it gets dark.
Well, and exactly, the darkness tells the body to convert it to melatonin. Melatonin is the most powerful natural antioxidant manufactured by our bodies. Due to electromagnetic stress, we are severely deficient in melatonin. Dr. Walter Peripoli, an Italian researcher, has fabulous research. You just got to go try and find it on the web, where he took 2 twin women, started them in their 30s,
I remember that.
gave one melatonin and one not. Well, the results were quite stunning.
Really?
The woman who had the melatonin barely aged. and the other one aged quite significantly. We know
sounds
that
like a lawsuit to me.
well,
Making.
yeah, and that's funny. Some mainstream doctors use that as an excuse for why they don't do vaccine trials, because they don't want to deprive people of the safety. But let's get back to that. Interestingly, we found out through biofield research that women need significantly more, due to our hormonal structure, are more sensitive to electromagnetic and chaotic electric. Makes a lot of sense. I think
and
women.
Here we are surrounded by computers and iPads, and
we need to remediate this room. We're going to work on that. But you know, if you want to talk about the work of Walter Pierpoli, one of the things that I'm doing, I wish I had been in the know when I was 35. So I'm starting close to 20, you know, 15, 20 years later. But if you are, there's a protocol to help maintain and keep natural rejuvenation, and I can share that with you if you contact me. Okay, so we'll go on.
So she does a few things like take a shower or a bath. She uses aromatherapy. She uses a sunlight sauna. She has
Or you could order an earth wrap for me.
Yes, there you go.
And sleep with the infrared in your bed.
And she uses different soaps like lavender. I put a little lavender on me before I go to bed. That's part of my routine too.
Fabulous, fabulous.
And then she moisturizes herself. I don't do any of that stuff. But the women have a different routine. I know my wife starts about a half hour before I do.
And she sips some tea.
Tea.
You know, I think tea is a very effective way to get super powerful herbal nutrition in and create that relaxing sensation.
And at the end, she says she does take a Zen supplement. I'm not sure what that is. I suppose we could dig and look at that. But, you know, the thing is, it's important, I think, to have a routine so your body and your mind and you know that you're getting ready for bed. It's the worst night's sleeps I always have is when I don't get the chance to do that. I come home late or something like that, well, I'll just go right to bed. It still helps me if I do that routine, even if I shorten it.
Well, routine is showing that you're respecting your body's, you know, chronobiology, and the body does have a system. It has certain organ glands correspond to certain times of the day. You know, for example, if you're waking between 1 and 3, your liver, that's the hour of the liver. The liver is saying, I'm not happy. You've either had too much alcohol, and you're having a hypoglycemic moment, or you're not digesting your food, because the liver and kidneys are the organs of last resort. So if you're not using digestive support, many of the people, when they get on digestive support, I call it the bookends before the meals, then they find they're no longer waking up because their liver is not having to deal with that digestive stress.
You should make a little clock in showing where...
I have that in my office. Yeah, I can share it. I can put it in the newsletter if you want to.
Remind me, definitely, because I really like that kind of stuff, and it's nice to have that where you can see it, so to kind of remind yourself and how that stuff works.
Traditional Chinese medicine, 5-element chronobiology. The ancient cultures have known this for ages, you know. You know, there's a certain, and the meridians, it ties in with the meridians. So I think that'd be fun.
As you get older, it seems, and for me, this is the way it's worked, traditions and little routines become very endearing, and I think they're very important. You know, it's just, now in the modern times, these rituals, I used to go see my sister at certain times of the year, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, and those holidays, rituals. It's not so much about, this is the day when we give thanks for being in the United States, or, you know, whatever it is, or the Christmas where we're giving thanks to God or Jesus or anything, or whatever religion you are. It's more, for me, about the contact with the people that I love and want to share time with.
Well, we know that eating seasonally and following kind of a bigger clock, why shouldn't we follow a little smaller clock and understand and respect our body's chronobiology? And, you know, so what do you think is the organ gland that follows? Bladder, kidney, then colon. So what happens in the morning?
Colon.
So I think that's a good conversation. Maybe we should make that one of our segments next time. If you
send me the stuff, and we'll put it in the routine for sure. Because I think, it's not only interesting, but I think just understanding the way the body works, the way it wakes up, the way it shuts down, is the type of thing I think that's just important for normal living and can be discussed at any time with your family.
Right.
I think it's important for your family, for your children to know these things.
I want to go over back Bad news from Monsanto. The world's most credible medical journal outlines the dangers and hazardous health of glyphosate. Okay? Guys, this last week, I think Dr. McCullough had an article on it, and we want to reiterate, even wheat, some wheat is not genetically modified, but almost all wheat is, prior to harvesting, sprayed with Monsanto's poison to kill ryegrass and other weeds that make it difficult to harvest. So then that toxic chemical is permeated to every cell of that wheat. So the question is this epidemic of what we call gluten sensitivity really a gluten sensitivity? We've discussed the hybridization of the seed, and yes, we've all realized that maybe eliminating that, but is the real problem the fact that the wheat is a toxic pesticide? When you eat a wheat gluten-based
even
product.
If it's organic, it's still one species of wheat that we kind of gleaned out of the whole pack. Remember, our ancestors always had a variety. If they were eating some kind of grains, which obviously they were, they exploit any kind of food when you're hungry. But they had wild things. And remember, in the wild, everything kind of works because the bad is always weeded out by itself.
When we
domesticate anything, even ourselves, disease moves in, pestilence moves in. So these farmers in the Midwest that have corn, the problem is because you're growing corn. If you grew corn and then something else beside it, something else beside that, and had 15 different kinds of plants, then you'd have a much healthier field. Mm-hmm. It's because the pestilence is going to go in there because there's too much of it. There's a reason for that. The rats are in the city because we're in the city. When we go out to the country, there's no rats out there, unless you're living in a barn or something like that where you're stocking things. But if you're living out in the wild in a tent, there's no rats around there. Mm-hmm. Unless you're camping out in Central Park, perhaps.
So,
anyway,
guys,
the
point is, this toxic pesticide is pervasive in our food supply and heavily used. And I want you to be aware of it. I want you to be aware of its connection to serious diseases, as Dr. Stephanie Senoff, being maybe part of the straw that broke the camel's back with a lot of these ADHD and autism, just the toxic stress of this. And this goes on and on, to talk about, the carcinogenic aspects of it, the gut microbiome, sterilization of it. But I also want you to know, of course, it appears that Monsanto has bought and paid for all the politicians. I saw it through my news feed.
Obvious because they're selling it everywhere.
Robert Scott Bell just said that there's not a single politician for the 2016 elections that supports GMO labeling. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder whose political campaigns are being
well, these chemicals are just so bad for us because they affect so many different things, and it's been linked to celiac disease. The chemicals themselves, not just the wheat. Gender switching.
Oh, absolutely.
Homosexuality. I mean, there's a lot of different things, and when you start looking at our culture and seeing increases of certain things, it's got to be tied to something. It's just not a natural progression because for 100,000 years in the wild, it was under control.
Okay, the publication Nature.com, highly credible organization.
Yeah.
Publication. Widely used herbicide linked to cancer. The whole link. Children. Here's a comment. Children today are sicker than they were a generation ago. From childhood cancers to autism, birth defects, and asthma, a wide range of childhood diseases and disorders are on the rise. Our assessment of the latest science leaves little room for doubt. Pesticides are one key driver of this sobering trend. Guys, we got to wake up. We've got.
Just one thing. And how many of these things are actually hitting our environment?
We've got to vote every day by refusing to buy these toxic chemicals.
That's how we vote.
We got to learn how to grow our own food, and that's the new generation. Support your local co-ops. Buy local. Know your farmer. It's important. Yeah. We'll be back. We got to take a break.
Okay.
You know what's cool?
taking something that's good for you, something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Do you know the 7 most critical factors that influence every decision you make, and how not knowing these will jeopardize the health, the wealth, and the relationships you deserve? I'm Steve Rhodes, morning host of TFNN.com, and for the last quarter of a century, I've studied and used the secrets of human growth, the same formulas used by leaders of nations, billionaires and millionaires, and the most successful athletes on the planet. Would you like to break through any obstacle that gets in between you and the success you deserve? Would you like to turn fear into strength? If you could find a way to achieve, be fulfilled, and live a life of meaning, wouldn't you want to know the answer? I'll teach you the factors that control your state of mind and the drivers that impact every thought, emotion, behavior, and action we take in my new webinar, The Psychology of Trading. Join me for this 2-part online event where I'll unveil the secrets to human pattern recognition, because they're not what you think. And soon, you'll have the health, the wealth, and the relationships you deserve. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on The Psychology of Trading to begin your journey now.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, listeners. I'm Paige, Clarke, and Nico de Haan. We're living a primal lifestyle. And imagine something, guys. What if you woke up one morning to discover that all compasses pointed south instead of north? It's not as bizarre as it actually sounds. The Earth's magnetic field has flopped, not just, though not overnight, many times in the Earth's history. It's a dipole magnetic field, and like that of a bar magnet, it can remain stable, over millions, thousands of millions of years.
Positive on one side and negative on the other side.
But for incompletely known reasons, it occasionally weakens. and will presumably, over a few thousand years, reverse directions.
Yeah.
So there's some new science, and maybe you can kind of summarize what's going on.
What has happened is, of course, they know that the Earth's magnetic field flips every now and then. They really don't know why it flips. The last time they figure is about, and they've got the date down pretty good, it's 786,000 years ago. And they think that it happened actually quite quickly, maybe less than 100 years. Some scientists even think maybe in a decade it could happen. If you look at the telestrator here.
And this is work out of UC Berkeley, guys.
Yeah, you can see it kind of moving here, and it's moving. It was going this way, and then it's reversed, and it's moving towards Siberia now. And the funny thing is that the south one is also moving this way.
We talked about how they had to change the landing lines at Tampa International Airport because magnetic north had shifted.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah. So we think it might be happening now because also it's getting weaker, and that's a sure sign. Of course, nobody knows what really happened. They don't think there was devastating things happening, but that was 786,000 years ago. We don't really have a memory of it going on, so they think that the electrical grids and everything like that are at high risk.
Yeah, it says.
And the real danger, though, is that after the flip, a lot of times what will happen there, it'll be erratic for a long time, and that could be problematic. Of course, the magnetic field is what shields us from radiation from the sun and from space.
And they say that the Earth's magnetic field has been decreasing 10 times faster than normal, leading some geophysicists to predict a reversal within a few thousand years.
Yeah, and the pole, the North Pole at least, has been going very rapidly, doing over 100 miles a year right now, when before it was doing 1 or 2 or 3 miles, and then it went to 10 miles, and now it's really going wild. So it'd be interesting to see, maybe within our lifetime.
So we've got some scientists that are looking at what the biological effects would be if that happens. So we'll be watching this. This is kind of
start taking your notes, folks.
See, we're not
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we're into the art and science of living a primal lifestyle, and I like to explain that real health is a creative fusion of ancient wisdom and modern science, and that's what we do here.
Well, maybe you could take a little yoga class, learn how to stand on your head. No problem.
It's very important to stand on your head, actually.
Joke.
Well, it's not a joke, though. We should all be doing that. Actually,
well, that's right. It's really good for you. I had one of my customers was asking me, does inversion really help you?
Oh, sure.
And I said, yeah. All those natural standing in your head positions from yoga and from other sciences, that it can really help the body kind of just shake things up, I think.
Nothing corrects cervical congestion or damage better than an inversion table properly used based on your particular health issues. We have one through Premier Research that we recommend and have tested.
It's funny because when I do standing on my head, and when I do, my shoulders feel much better for some reason. My neck doesn't feel as bad. So
yeah, but
it's kind of interesting. You would think it'd be, because you're standing on your head, you think all the weight is on your head. It's not as much weight as you think, but it does bother you at first. You think, God, this is really hurting me, but then it goes away.
Well, I think a lot of the headstanding gives you that circulatory benefit of the venous blood being able to flow freely, because there's the way the pump is. But an inversion table takes the pressure off the head. We can talk about that some other time. It looks like we got to take a little.
That's it,
done.
folks. Pick up some Primal Edge. Pick up a newsletter. We'll see you next week.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right. It's coming up tomorrow.
Yes. Sunday. So enjoy your weekend.
Start celebrating
all you
tomorrow.
Sweet mothers, and be nice to your mother.
Bye.
See you next time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.